flavor country. All right, time for another cabinet here. Got a little monument action. Agua Caliente doing they thing. So 3/4 inch acrylic push throughs. Keep in mind, I don't know if it'll be on the work order. Yeah, and I kind of didn't. I forgot. I usually put it over here somewhere for you guys or whatever. But there's your warning. Looks like they want 4,000 K. So wake up those tetras or whatever we got in stock there. And then we got some flat cutouts, 1/4 inch aluminum that goes on the bottom there. So. And then, nothing too crazy. Just want to point a couple things out. But essentially, the construction is like we do now when we need to take the back off. We have the backer pieces, and then we wrap them with the returns, similar to the Indio solar signs. Big old boy of that. And then that way we can take the back off. And then we got this decorative top hat. And then we have the box on the bottom that gets squished for the reveal. So I'll kind of go over that. So with that being said, let's get after it. So I broke it up, got the outer hard candy shell with the parts necessary there. And then the 3 backer pieces that you'll put together to create the back there. And then you got your hats, you got your T is top, but bottom is bottom of the top. And then you've got your B is bottom, and then you got the top and bottom of that. Isn't that fun? The top one is universal technically. So once you get it, it should flip back and forth. But the bottom one, obviously the mounting holes are justified because it's pushed forward or backwards or whatever. So make sure pay attention to that. Because once all this is put together, you won't see this. You could figure it out with this, but maybe mark on the outside with a Sharpie, just so when all this gets closed up, you can kind of still keep reference for yourself. So anyway, but all the skins and everything are all the same for both. So they're not marked. You got power box system there. You got your skins. You got your fronts and backs. LED. It looks like Batman. It's kind of cool. Install template. Get that bent and then sent over to Jonathan. Make sure he gets that. Got all your 1/4 plate pieces, and of course your F calls. And then it is 3/4 inch clear, so it's going to be slightly beefy boy. So make sure you stretch your backs out. And then we got our install pattern for the top there. So like I said, nothing you haven't done before, just a different version. So go ahead and you're going to rivet these guys together here and then surround it and capture it with the returns. And then for the power box, I went ahead and made this. It doesn't need to be removable every time, but the mounting plates, you'll go ahead and tack or lords those on either way. Probably tack so that way we can get good bonding and keep UL happy. So those are on top and bottom there. You got your arrows. And then when you make the power box, which is similar to the ones we make, nothing too crazy, except you've got 1/4 So wake up your rivet gun or your riv nut gun, and you got 1/4 top and bottom. And then you can see that's the green part. That'll be where it goes in. So when it's time after paint and everything, you're just going to throw some bolts in there. And then I think that'll be the last, it doesn't need to come out every time. So just put the bolts in and you're done. And make sure you check for bonding, right? Because you got your bonding. And if you do continuity tests, make sure we're good. Anyway, so that's that. Make sure you get that. And then you got a little front brace right here, just because this is going to be, again, a beefy boy with 3/4 inch logo, probably weighing, 100 pounds right there. So give you something to lower the face to, but otherwise the face is kind of unsuspended. So should be okay. And then these are the mounting, I call them jacks or whatever. So these guys are going to get, I would burn all this together first. And then before you put this thing together, you're going to trap them inside. I don't think you're gonna be able to get them in if you make if you go ahead and surround this. I don't think it might be a little too late to get them in there. So make sure you build the cabinet around these. So get those 1/4 burnt, or the 1/4 inch burnt first, and then they'll fit in there like that. The bottom guy, so once you get all that done, the bottom guy has these 1/4 inch plates. Speaking of the structure, the jacks here. So you're going to trap these guys inside the bottom hat. Again, the top hat, just empty. It's just decoration, sits on top. But the bottom one is going to put up with the nonsense of being squished down by the bolts there. So you're just going to trap these little 1/4 inch boys right there inside the hat. That way it'll sit like this, and that way that'll support that whole system down into the concrete. So it transfers load. I said load. So it'll transfer that down into the concrete. So make sure you get those guys trapped inside that hat. And then it's just, like I say, burn it up. Again, you might want to just make sure you're referencing which way is front and back, because it is justified. So you've got your mounting bolts here, but you got to make sure it's back that way. And then you're just going to lords and probably shoot screws here and there, probably just to make sure from the inside of the cabinet. So that's that. For install, I went ahead and brought in McMaster and keep an eye out, Fab. Make sure install gets some. I got some stainless 8-inch boys here. I checked CV Link. Embed was about 3 inches. So I figured if you do 3 inches here, that should be good with your Hilti. This is 1/2 inch. And at 8 inches, that's how much that sticks up. Even if you did a little more embed, you're still safe. So just somewhere around 3 inches should be good. Your paper pattern is staggered like so. So you're just going to do the 6 bolts. However, I went ahead and made provisions for a swappable either way. So even if the pattern for some reason gets put on backwards, or you'd accidentally gets mirrored, or whatever happens, or if you have to abandon a spot, you could just do the math and run up and over and maybe do one here. Or if you have to come over, because if you hit rebar or something happens, you can just do, because I have that pattern there. So this has got a lot more flexibility as far as that's concerned. So in case you have to, ditch and do something like that or whatever. So anyway, but that's why you got 6 there, but you got a lot of holes in the sign. So, and then like my previous video, this is where your power will come in, depending on how you want to do that. So that's 2 inches, or that's 2 feet off of center. You can choose either way. The power box will be on the right side over here. So if you want to, looking at the sign on the actually it's port side, but on your right side, if you're looking at it, if you want to come in on the right side, your power will be right about here. So that might be better, whatever you want to do on that. So yeah, right there. So yeah, well actually, yeah. So your power would be like right here. So you just have to go there, but either way, you can run it over. So I think that's about it. Install pattern as well. Make sure Jonathan gets this. You're just going to bend it 90 on both sides, make a C channel out of it. And then that'll be for the flat cutout letters. So all you got to do is take that, line it up with the top edge, take the top of that, and then good luck, because it's split face block. So that's always fun trying to drill that. So, and those are 1024. Make sure you tack these little plates. These are going to be 090 plates. They get tacked to the fingers sticking out right here. Tack those up, and then that's how your LED boys are going to go. You'll be able to just slide them in front of those. Try to get in when it fit in somehow. Come in this way. It might be fun, but you have to slide it back and forth. I know there's not a lot of room to fit these, but because that logo makes it big. But you're going to get those in and put the LED in front of these, and then you'll be able to shoot through and just secure your LEDs with those plates. So you'll see right there. That's that system there. So, but yeah, just make sure you don't get ahead of yourself on some things and accidentally, trap and you can't get things in. But anyway, and then again, looks like 4,000K. So, 4,100K, get those tetras, wake them up. But yeah, otherwise I think that's it, right? Lords, those guys, mounting, hardware. Yeah, I think we're good. Anyway, well, you know what's up. If you have any questions, hit me up. Check the